Yo, what's up, guys? Frank Daniels here. Today I'm talking about good foods versus bad foods. And is there a difference between those two things? Before I get into that, I have a free report. It's called 7 Steps to Shredded. If you happen to be interested in getting lean, getting jacked, and dominating the planet, then you download that. It is the first link in the description. At the end of this video, there'll be a pop-up where you can just tap that and download it. Let's talk good foods versus bad foods. And the reason I want to have this conversation is because you will probably get caught up in this idea that if you're going to have your best body, right? Have your top health, have your best body, that there are foods that are on this side of the equation and then foods that are on this side over here. It's like there's a line in the sand in the middle, okay? And it's drawn, and if you cross that line, you fucked it all up, right? And this screws with people mentally, because usually if you're going to diet down, right, to get more lean, you're probably gonna follow a program, right? 21-day program, 28-day program, whatever it might be, and it's usually got strict guidelines of things for you to do. And one of the reasons that people struggle to be successful at this stuff is because they're unable to really follow those strict guidelines once the diet is done, right? So one of the biggest principles of finding a nutrition program that works for you is, does it fucking work for you? All right? That's number one. So it's very important for you to understand that there's no line in the sand. It's like you cross that line and you're on the good side, you cross this line, you're on the bad side, right? Usually what happens is you go on to the quote unquote bad food, stuff you're not supposed to eat, usually stuff you enjoy a little bit more, pizza, cheeseburgers, cheesecake, whatever it is, okay? That's some of those things for me, maybe not for you, but you get the point, right? Usually when you cross that, it turns into a downward spiral because mentally, you know you're wrong. What an asshole I am, right? And usually those things snowball on people who do not or don't have a long history of creating habits that support whatever your physical goals are. And that's different for everybody. But the big point here is there's no such thing as good foods or bad foods. Inherently, there's no such thing, right? Now, there might be foods on this side that have higher nutritional value and foods on the other side of like a spectrum. So this is a line and a spectrum right here. Foods on this side, higher nutritional value, and foods on this side that have lower nutritional value. And it exists on a spectrum. So if you spend most of your time down on the lower side of the nutritional value, it's probably not a bad idea to start pushing that fader down this direction, right? And if you're on this side very often, you probably got a little bit more leeway to jump to this side. Here's the big thing. If you don't ever have stuff that you enjoy, if you're always trying to willpower your way to a better body, okay, and a better health, it's only gonna last so long because there's only so much availability of willpower, right? You just can't muscle your way through stuff if you don't have an opportunity to enjoy yourself from time to time. So the diets that are proven to work the best are the ones that are built with a certain amount of flexibility. So that's what I wanna tell you, right? Is get out of this idea of good foods versus bad foods. You really wanna think, this stuff has more nutritional value, this stuff has less nutritional value. Can I, more often than not, have foods with more nutritional value? And if I need to fit some of the stuff on the other side of the equation into my diet, and that works for me, and it, quote unquote, fits your macros, right? Just kind of fits into what you're doing. You have that good nutritional value, but you gotta cross over once in a while to enjoy yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's no food on its own, when eaten in moderation, that's going to kill anybody, harm anybody, or cause you to not have the body that you're going for, if more often than not, you're eating foods with more nutritional value. Okay, so that's the point I want to make for you guys right there. Let's lose the perfectionism, because there's no such thing as perfect, and perfect is usually a thing that would stop most people dead in their tracks from moving forward. no such thing, right? You're not gonna have a perfect diet, it's just not gonna work that way. For most regular people, there are certain bodybuilders and figure competitors that obviously spend more time being quote unquote more perfect than the rest of us. But for the rest of us people out there, it's just, this stuff has more nutritional value, this stuff has a little less nutritional value. If I gotta go on this side from time to time to keep myself from going crazy, then that's perfectly fine. That stuff is not gonna kill you, all right? So there's no good foods, there's no bad foods, there's just stuff that has more nutritional value for you. You do that more often than not, you're gonna be A-okay, have the body, the physique, and the health that you're looking for. All right, guys? So that's it. I got a free report, 7 Steps to Shredded. Download it. Click this button. If you enjoyed this video, head down below, like, leave a comment, tell me exactly what you want to see. I'm Frank Daniels. Guys, we will catch you soon.